Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have these really fun butterfly thank you cards to share with you. So let's jump right in. So as always, I like to cut my cardstock down first. I just like to know what I'm working with. So I'm going to cut a piece of watercolor cardstock down to be about an eighth, I'd say about 1/4 of an inch smaller than my A2 sized base, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5 when scored. And then I'm also going to have a black mat, which will be an eighth of an inch smaller than the base, creating just this fun layered look. You guys know this is my preference. If you don't like that layered look, you can absolutely skip this part, or, do it in a different color, or you could just do the watercolor and skip the black and have just kind of a fun white border around the card. So many options to kind of cater to what you prefer in your card making. So I'm going to bring in some of my sprays. I haven't used them recently, and I love my sprays, especially the Mica sprays, which is what I'm going to bust out here. So I'm going to use 3 colors. I have WinterBerry, Shiny Bauble, and Flickering Candle. And these are full of mica. So you do have to shake them to make sure you get all that mica, but the shine on them afterward is just stunning. And you'll see that later when I hold the cards up. And I just kind of went with my sprays because I do tend to default to my oxide inks. If you've been with me for any length of time, you'll know how much I love my oxides. But every once in a while, you kind of just want to create a fun, quick background. And I find the sprays are phenomenal for that. And the micas especially, because then you get that built-in shine as well. And I love shimmery, shiny things. So I do tend towards that. So I chose these 3 colors just because they kind of create a fun blend between them. And I really like the vibrancy of them. I do tend towards a more vibrant color palette. That's just kind of my preference. But you could, of course, change these out to be any colors that make you happy and make you smile while you're card making. So this is actually for my challenge. If you guys don't know, I have a Facebook group. And I do a monthly challenge in the group that kind of just helps people come up with creative ideas, gives them something to kind of work on throughout the month. And they enter their project into my challenge. And then at the end of the month, I randomly draw a name, and then that person gets some happy nail from me. So I am a little behind. If you guys didn't know, I had a reno going on, and it became a bit of a cluster, and I have only just gotten back into my crafting space like a few days ago. So I needed to come up with kind of a fun, quick challenge. So that's what I did here. So the challenge for this month of August is going to be a thank you card, because I am incredibly thankful for you guys. So I thought it would be kind of fun to showcase that in this month's challenge. So in the challenge, you can create any kind of project you like. It can be a card, it can be an art journal, it can be an ATC, it can be whatever, a painting, whatever, a tag, whatever your project of choice is. Doesn't matter, completely up to you. Now, I just really quick want to cut that off for a second. You see right there, I was cutting the perspective butterfly die. And I have the chrome base plate, and you can see that the wings didn't fully cut on my first pass. So I actually brought it out, double checked the back, because this is a white glitter cardstock, and I do find for detailed dies, they don't always cut through nicely. So I just wanted to show you that, because I do get a lot of questions about cutting more delicate dies, more kind of dies that have a lot of bits or a lot of really thin parts. And I just kind of wanted to touch on that so you guys could see it here. So that is kind of what I do. I double check the back, make sure everything is cut through, and then I will start to remove it from the die, especially for something this large and intricate. I just wanted to cut that off and say that for you guys, just because I have had a lot of questions for that before. Anyway, back to my challenge. So you can create any project that you want to create. The only rules, I say that in quotations, the only rules to the challenge is that you do need to create it in the month of the challenge. So like last month in July, it was Christmas in July, because that's, what I did all of month. And then of course, this one is is a thank you card, as I said. So it does need to be created within the month. Normally, I do announce the challenge on the 1st of the month, but like I said, I only just got back into my crafting space after almost being a month out of it. So bear with me, I'm a little behind, but it will be posted in the group, so you can check out that post. It will go up today with this video, so you can see all the details written in the post as well. And the only other thing that you need to do is that it does need to be uploaded into the corresponding album in the Facebook group. So in the Facebook group at the top of the row, there's usually a couple of things listed. Albums is one of them. You would go then to the one that says, August, and it would have a breakdown. So it would be like August, thank you cards, or like July would have been July, Christmas in July. Like it gives you what the style of project is. And outside of that, you can create anything to your heart's content, because the whole idea of this is literally just to give you inspiration. You can case one of my cards. You can, come up with your own ideas. You can case somebody else's card. You can just have a play, have a fun time creating something that makes you happy. That is the whole idea behind the challenge. And I think that it's kind of fun. If you don't want to join in, that's okay too. You can just check out what other people put in. So I have had some people ask about the challenge being late. I'm really sorry, you guys. It's been a bit crazy over here. I'm doing my best. But so it will be up as of today. And yeah, just make sure you post whatever it is that you want, and that would be phenomenal to have you join. So there is a link in the description to my Facebook group. My Facebook group is the name of my channel, which is Ciara T Designs. It's not the business Facebook group, it is the actual group itself. There are 2 questions if you request to join. It just asks you, to be respectful, and it asks you how you found out about the group, because I do find a lot of people just join random groups for, they don't even know what it's about. They don't really care about posting in it. It's really quite odd. So I kind of had to, make it a little bit locked down so that we didn't have any weird stuff going on in the group, because it's just me. And luckily it's still fairly small, so I can kind of keep a good eye on it. But if it grows at all, then it makes it harder for me to kind of keep an eye on it. So by all means, come and join the challenge if you want to. I think we have a pretty great supportive group over there. I'm really, really fond of the people in there. So if you want to come and check it out, please do. So there's a link in the description. So I took the Tim Holtz Note Quotes stamps. I don't know that I've even used this stamp set before, but I loved this kind of the circle that I'm stamping the sentiment in. And I opted to go with black ink because my mat is black. And so for that, I really wanted to kind of tie the two together, have a little bit more black in the design. So I'm going to stamp the little circle stamp out. And then I chose the sentiment, many thanks. I love how it fits in the circle. I think it's really fun. And it's just kind of a fun way to use some products that I don't think I've used. I get really excited, especially about Tim Holtz releases. And you pick up the items and then maybe you didn't have an idea for it at the time, so you don't use it. And then time passes and now you haven't used it. And it's been, I don't know, this stamp set came out a year or 2 ago, I think. So I just really want to celebrate using older products that, we obviously enjoy because they're in our stash, but maybe we haven't kind of thought of yet. So I do tend towards that. I hope you guys don't mind. I kind of only add to my collection if I feel like there's something I'm missing in my collection, if that makes sense. So I do tend to use older products just because I feel like they aren't inexpensive, especially if you're buying, some of the Tim Holtz dies can be fairly pricey. They're phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I love Tim Holtz products, but they're not inexpensive. So because of that, I really want us to get a lot of good use out of the items that we purchase. So I try to come up with ideas that may be a little different than how you looked at that product first. And then hopefully you can bust it out and use it if you haven't. So if you have this perspective moth or I'm using the butterfly here, but if you have the moth, either one of them, they're both large and look great on an A2 sized cut down panel, and then cut them in half and you get some great panels out of this. I only had to cut 2 of these butterflies, thankfully, because they are a bit of a pain for me to cut. But I love the butterfly. I love butterflies so much. So I was really happy to kind of create 4 cards out of this one or 2 of this one shape, because I did cut out 2 butterflies, and then you cut them in half and you get this great look. Now, of course, you could, do a 5x7 card and then have more of the butterfly on it. But I kind of like this, one wing. I think it just gives you a really interesting look because it makes you almost think that there's more going on outside of the panel. So it gives you something else to think about. And I find that really interesting to look at. So that's what I think when I make cards. I know it's kind of weird, but I tend to have these kind of thoughts where it's like, what else is going on here? What else can you think about? And I just find it really fun. So that is, kind of the fun reason that I went with the half butterfly. But if you didn't have this really large butterfly, no problem. Cut out 3 of your favorite butterfly and add them on the panel. I've done that several times. This can work. Pretty much all of my card designs, I try to imagine in a way that you could make it work with something you already own. Now, by all means, don't get me wrong. If you want to shop for things, please do. I'm a big believer in happily spending my money on crafty goodies. But if you don't have the funds, or you don't want to buy anything new, perfectly okay. Grab out a butterfly. You don't have a butterfly, grab out a moth. You don't have a moth, grab out a leaf. Do 3 leaves across this kind of cool colored background. Like, there are so many ways to make this your own and use things you already have in your stash. So keep that in mind, kind of shop your own stash. I'm a huge believer of that, just because I do know how much we spend on our favorite crafty goodies. So I always kind of want to encourage you guys to use what you have, because I don't know, I'm not a big purchaser of new things. I am when Tim Holtz does a release. You can call me on that one, because that is true. But as a general rule, outside of that, I'm pretty good about happily reusing things that I already have, just because I think that they deserve to be used. Like, that's the whole kind of point. I'm not a collector of crafty goodies. I'm a user of my crafty goodies. So, but anyway, I'll get off that little soapbox. But I want you guys to feel like you don't constantly have to be buying the next newest thing. Don't get me wrong. I want our industry to succeed. But, you can't buy everything all the time. So, don't feel bad if you can't, because I'm with you. So I just thought that was kind of a fun way to use this butterfly. Now, I was thinking, I did last year, I did in September, I did, what did I call it? It was like Spooktember. Spooktember, that's what it was. I'm just trying to remember what the heck I called it. Where I did a bunch of Halloween themed projects in September of last year. Now, it wasn't terribly popular. Not that stops me from making stuff. I mean, I make stuff all the time that's not terribly popular on the channel, because I love making. But I was just wondering if you guys thought you might like to see some more Halloween projects from me, or alternatively, I could do more autumn themed things. I mean, generally my Halloween cards aren't scary. Like, I'm not going for creepy or gross, really, because I tend towards a very pretty palette. That's kind of the direction I go. But I do have some fun Halloween stuff from the Tim Holtz line, that kind of stuff. So let me know if you might be interested in seeing Spooktember come back this year. And then, of course, you guys know Christmas, the 12 Weeks of Christmas series starts in October. And that's where every Monday up to like 12 weeks up to Christmas, I make a Christmas project on the Monday. And then Thursday gets to be whatever I want to make, because that's kind of how this goes. I've kind of got it now where it's consistently card making projects on the Monday, and then on the Thursday I kind of change it up. Like, I've got my watercolors that you guys know I'm working on. I've got my bullet journal that I'm working on. I want to bring art journaling to the channel. It's in my list of things to work on. That kind of stuff. And those kind of always go to the Thursday, and then I keep Mondays specifically for card stuff, because I know how much you guys love the card making. So I try really hard to make sure that I'm hitting a lot of that, so you guys can see some fun ideas. So now I brought out that circle stamp again that I used on the front from that note quotes stamp set from Tim Holtz. And I put a little puddle of each of the 3 micas on my glass mat, and I'm just gently stamping it into that. And then that's what I'm creating the inside of. And it's so cool because you get the mica shine still, right? So I'm getting the 3 colors, they're mixing on the stamp. And then once it dries, I'll show you here in when we get to the last part of the video, I'll show you how beautiful this mica shimmer is in these fully dried circles on the inside. Like, it's just, mica's just, they're so flippin' pretty. Like, if you like shimmer as much as I do, this will do it for you. Hopefully the micas are still available. Tim Holtz brought them out now a few years ago, and they've kind of come back out usually seasonally. I don't know what that's going to look like going forward now that he's not really designing new products. So if you love them and they're still available, buy them. They're just so much fun to play with, and they give you a really fun variation of colors. And there's less of them than the other sprays, so you don't have to buy as many if that's a concern for you. But as always, I will have everything I use linked and listed down below, unless, like I said, it's no longer available. Then I usually try to find something similar if I can. If it's not linked down below, then it's because I can't find anything similar and I don't know where to point you to find it. So this is what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I am hoping to hit 20,000 by the end of the year, and every new subscriber helps, so I would love it if you'd consider it. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for supporting my dreams. And if you are a member, you are phenomenal. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You are amazing. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, please leave me a butterfly in your comments so that I can thank you for hanging out with me all the way to the end. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.